I'm Henry O, and this is having a one world currency, and this is economics of having basically a single currency for the entire world. Now, my main question was, is a single world economy really possible? And this is important because we learned about the currency of the world and different countries and how it affects each other through supply and demand. We'll learn about the graph of how if demand for a currency goes up, that means the supply of the other currency will go up. And I was just wondering if a single world economy would be able to get rid of all the nitty-gritty and be able to make it more convenient for the world. And in my head, my theory was that a single world economy would be able to cover transaction rates, it'd be improve economy, it'd boost growth within impoverished countries, and it'd relieve tensions between countries, and overall provide more opportunity for trade. The three subtopics that I found for the economy of a single currency was the world is too connected, different countries have different views, and the world needs to be at peace for it to happen. The world is too connected, and when, for example, there's the euro, which is the only major multi-country currency where a bunch of countries have the same currency, and we also have who would be able to control the single currency based on like production and like the value of it. Now, for the euro, there's a big drawback in how all the countries are connected to the euro. So basically, if a country is doing good and is boosting the value of the euro, basically having good interest rates, paying back debts, it's boosting the currency and appreciating its value. But if a country is doing really bad, it's still affecting the euro. So everything the good country is doing is negated by whatever the bad country is doing. In my research, I found Germany was doing super good, but Hungary was doing really bad. Found a real world connection to this by Damian Lillard. He's a NBA player where he carried for a while he carried the Portland Trail Blazers, where he brought this amazing talent, performances, and overall took the team by himself to the playoffs. But in the end, his teammates were brought him down, and they weren't able to play up to his standards. And so he was uh, held back because of his team. And this relates to much like the country who's doing good, or Germany, and like the country doing bad, which brings it down. Now, this is the biggest country, and who would control the currency? And since there's already a lot of tension between countries, and like giving one country the power to control the currency would just not be in question, since a lot of countries would be opposed to that. So right now, there's no real clear solution for countries to be able to come to an agreement, especially with the UN having some power, but a lot of big countries still ignore these solutions and these policies. So, an example of this was the Smithsonian Agreement in 1971, where basically like 10 countries came together to agree that the US dollar equaled $38 per gold pound. But eventually they found out that the US dollar was depreciating, and like eventually it actually costed $42 per gold, which basically ended the agreement where all the countries just didn't want to agree to pay for a depreciating dollar. Now, the next topic is different government views. Yes, again, interest rates, mercantilism, all these different governments and countries have their own interest rates, and it creates too much variability having these different countries and their interest rates with a single currency, and it just makes the currency fluctuate way too much. And then having one currency will result in mercantilism, which was what we learned in history, where a bunch of countries would hold on to their gold, which would end up hoarding. And then what we learned in econ, of course, is that more spending is good, but in the terms of mercantilism, where countries want to hold on to their gold and policy, it results in less spending, which deters economic growth. Now, the next part is the world needs peace, where collaboration between countries is required. And right now, in the real world situation between Israel and Palestine, or Ukraine and Russia, there's just too much tension going on. And if the world has one single currency, these countries can depreciate the currency and basically sabotage each other and basically end economic growth between trade. Now, so it comes to the conclusion of is the single currency worth it? And as of right now, it's just not worth it with free floating currency that's working out right now. Even with exchange rates and all those inconveniences, it allows for freedom for these countries. And right now, with the state of the world and tensions rising, it's just not possible for these countries to come to agreement to have a single currency. So I believe that down the road, in maybe a century or two, that's when the countries will be able to align and come to agreement to have a single currency. It'll take great collaboration and advancement in technology and civil uh, projects. That's my presentation. Thank you.